Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Nabila Nadia binti Othman. Metric number 2014822 will present a case study regarding the application of remote sensing and GIS in renewable energy exploration, focusing on solar energy. This poster is a summarization from a literature titled Optimal Solar Plant Site Identification using GIS and remote sensing in Saudi Arabia. In order to select a site for solar power plants installation, certain aspects must be investigated, such as how good the solar photovoltaic power plant location is and how to minimize the total cost of the project concerning proximity to existing infrastructures such as roads, power lines, while we maximize power output from the solar panels. Objectives of this research is to identify the contributing parameters that are important in locating PV plants within an area. It is also to delineate and map optimal solar PV sites using GIS techniques based on GIS AHP model. And the last one is to calculate the amount of photovoltaic electricity production, which is PV out, for each suitability evaluated area. The study area of this research is Al Qasim region, which is located in the center of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This region covers an area of about 73,000 square kilometers and represents about 3.2% of the total area of the country. Al Qasim region is dominated by a desert climate characterized by heat and dryness in the summer and cold in the winter with medium and unstable precipitation. Solar GIS map from World Bank Group, the value of global horizontal irradiation (GHI) in Al Qasim region is very high compared to the rest of the world. Conceptual and methodological framework was created to illustrate all the analysis steps from data input and processing to data analyzing, which led to multiple criteria analysis and a weighted overlay using analytical hierarchy process (AHP). A combination of GIS and AHP techniques were employed to determine 5 sub-criteria weight from 3 main criteria, which are environmental, climatic, and economic criteria. The environmental criteria selected for this study were the distances from protected areas and the data extracted from satellite images, which are from Earth Explorer, such as NDVI, and classified residential areas. This is to reduce any possible damage to the environment. The value of NDVI is obtained from remote sensing software using algebra math tools, and classified residential areas is analyzed by random forest techniques using raster calculator. The criteria in this research focused on one main criteria, which is solar radiation. This data obtained from solar GIS map, and the important value to be obtained in this research is photovoltaic electricity production, which is PV out, and global horizontal irradiance GHI. These elements are considered the most important element in this study due to their importance in determining the energy that can be produced in Al Qasim. 2 roads, power lines, and the slope were the economic criteria selected for this research. The data for the slope obtained from Earth Explorer and calculated using slope tool in ArcGIS Pro, and the data for the road obtained from OpenStreetMap and calculated using also ArcGIS Pro. While for the power lines, the data is obtained from official source from the government. The sub-criteria except protected areas and NDVI will be performed weighted overlay analysis using AHP. DVI and protected areas excluded from the weighted overlay map, obviously to create the suitability map for power plant site identification. The result from weighted overlay analysis using AHP showed that GHI represents the highest importance, followed by the economic and then the environmental criterion. The results from this research shown in this figure, which indicate the spatial distribution of suitable places for the establishment of solar power plants in Al Qasim region, where it has been distinguished using the map between 5 levels according to the degree of suitability from most suitable, suitable, moderately suitable, unsuitable, and restricted. The geographical distribution of sections according to suitability levels relies highly on GHI. Shows the distribution of the levels of suitability in Al Qasim region. Approximately 75% of the studied areas are compatible as sites for power plant establishment. While this figure shows the potential solar energy production in each section based on the suitability of the area. From the results, it is shown that the most suitable and suitable areas to establish solar power plants were in the south and southwest of the region, which is covering about 17.53% of the studied area. Next, the use of GIS in spatial analysis based on AHP proved to be positive to determine the optimal sites for solar power plants. And last, a map was created for the optimal areas that were compatible with the construction of solar power plants, which would help decision makers and planners to decide the ideal sites and areas for these solar projects in the future.